Welcome into the Awesemo MMA best bets for UFC Vegas number 52. Of course, goes down on Saturday inside the UFC Apex. They're in Las Vegas, Nevada. Of course, we are brought to you by OddsShopper. We'll talk a little bit about OddsShopper later on here in this video. But Pete, UFC Vegas 52 on Saturday. Once again, another card in the UFC Apex cage, smaller cage. So obviously that's always something we got to think about when we're putting our bets together. Of course, we're going to give you a money line pick. We'll give you a 3-fighter parlay. We'll also give you a prop bet. And Pete, when I was going down and looking at the odds for this fight card, the one that stuck out to me that I really love here on Saturday is Manel Kape. Minus 200 taking on Madaerji. Manel Kape, to me, he is a guy that if he does not challenge for a flyweight title at some point, I'll be really surprised. I actually, not only do I like him to win the fight, which is minus 200, I actually also like him to win by knockout.
Yeah, so I really like Manel Kape. I've been following him for quite some time, and I feel like you're starting to actually see his skill set materialize and unfold, under the UFC banner. And it's such a great thing to see because I do think that there's so much promise with this guy within the division, especially. He hits really, really hard. His combinations are great. He can switch from orthodox to southpaw, and he can also mix in takedowns, which is something that he can win some rounds with. And I feel like in a matchup like this against Madaerji, who's a dangerous striker, I feel like Manel Kape is just a complete mixed martial artist, and I think that's going to be pretty evident on Saturday. For me, for my money line, as much as you like Manel Kape, I love him as well. I really like Lando Vannata here. He's at plus 100, and I just love his durability. I also love his strength of schedule. I know that he's now at featherweight, which is interesting, and I think that he's just going to be he's pretty good on the feet as well. So a lot of people always automatically assume Charles Jourdain is going to have the striking edge. Not so fast. I really think that Lando Vannata can land striking combinations, mix in the wrestling, and maybe the cage at the apex will influence that a little bit more. So I think that there's tremendous value here with Lando Vannata sitting there at plus 100.
I love what you said there about mixing in the wrestling because I think that's something he can do. I mean, look, I'm always, when I think about Lando Vannata, I'm always going to think about him stepping up on short notice to take on Tony Ferguson and his introduction to the UFC, where he just went out there like a wild man and just throwing it out there. But yeah, I think in terms of potentially mixing in, this term, blending. It's anytime you talk to a coach. I know when I've talked to James Krause about it, he talks about, he's like, man, I just need my guys to blend. And to me, that is going to be the key for him. Now, as we look at our parlays, there are two of my 3 legs are really as much about betting against their opponent as betting on them. That's Marc-Andre Barriault and Tyson Pedro. Marc-Andre Barriault taking on Jourdain Wright, Tyson Pedro taking on Ike Villanueva. Of course, obviously a concern with Tyson Pedro is a long layoff. The third fighter in my parlay is going to be Macy Barber. So my only concern with Macy Barber is if she gets put on her back, because I do think that would be the path to her potentially losing this fight. But I do like Marc-Andre Barriault, Tyson Pedro, and Macy Barber for my 3-fighter parlay.
Yeah, I like what you're saying there. Pretty similar to you. I really like Tyson Pedro. I feel like he's going to be everybody's darling this week. And, obviously there's a reason why that he's such a big favorite in a matchup like this. And, hopefully the ring rust does not play into a factor here, but I like him as my first leg. I do like Marc-Andre Barriault. I think that his experience and just his style and being around much more skilled teammates and a stronger gym is going to, just shine through in a matchup like this. And I also like combining that with Manel Kape. So my 3-fighter parlay is Tyson Pedro, Marc-Andre Barriault, and Manel Kape. It sits at plus 175. I think that there's some good value there, and I feel pretty safe about it.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of those things when you're putting your parlays together, trying to kind of, especially when you're talking about a 3-fighter parlay, about what you do feel safe about there. And I love what you got there going on there. Of course, make your best bets in 30 seconds or less. OddsShopper features hundreds of bets daily to give you the edge you need betting NBA and NHL player props with expanded win percentages. ROIs included. OddsShopper uses the same DFS projections we use here at Awesemo to filter out the best bets available. Also, OddsShopper has a parlay builder, so you got to check out that over there at OddsShopper. You can find the link to OddsShopper in the description of this video, so head there now and start making smarter bets now. And now we get to the part where we talk about our prop bets. And, I talked about my parlay parlay. It was about looking at fighters that it's more about who they're going up against. And my prop bet is about who the fighter's going up against. Give me Dean Barry inside this against Mike Jackson, minus 200. I'm just going to say you got to hop on this early because I think this line is going to balloon as the week goes on. But to me, it's all about going up against Mike Jackson. I think Dean Barry is going to get him out inside the distance.
Yeah, I think everybody's going to be picking on Mike Jackson. Poor Mike Jackson this week. For my fighter prop, I'm going to go with Lando Vannata, go back to the well. And I think that the decision prop sitting there at plus 250 holds some extreme value. I think that, he's going to win rounds against Charles Jourdain. And up until this point, we've seen Jourdain in some wars. And Lando Vannata can welcome the brawl as well, but he can change levels and then just basically outpoint Charles Jourdain. And hopefully Jourdain's Achilles heel in a situation like this, his submission grappling, does not end up, resulting in a submission defeat. But I feel like Lando Vannata is just going to be outstriking them and then just winning rounds with the takedowns. So, Lando Vannata via decision sits at plus 250, and I like that this week.
Yeah, I like that as well. I mean, there were some other prop bets I was looking at. I will tell you one of them that I was looking at was the over 2.5 rounds on Macy Barber, Montana De La Rosa, but that number's just ballooned. And it to me, it's going to go up over there. But of course, we appreciate everyone who checks out us here over at the MMA Best Bets video. Of course, we're here every week before a UFC event. Of course, UFC Vegas number 52 going down on Saturday inside the UFC Apex. And of course, be sure to check out myself and Pete. Well, here every single week talking about the betting side of UFC.